It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. We got another Ukrainian beer coming in Ukrainian Beer Week on Real Ale Craft Beer. This is TestDrive IPA. This is from the wonderful Varvar Brew in Ukraine. It's a 5.6% ABV, 25 IBU. Red Bull, that's the best way to describe the can. A Red Bull style, long, thin can. Pink, paper mache, man inside a paper mache aeroplane. I've had one beer from Varvar Brewing Company up to now in Ukraine Beer Week. This is Varvar Citra American Pale Ale. It was 6% ABV. Probably, in all honesty, probably should have reviewed this first. I looked at it as a pale ale, thought it was going to be about 4 or 5% ABV. It turns out it was 6% ABV, and this is 5.6% ABV. So I always try, if I'm reviewing IPA, to start low with the ABV and go higher, even with style, even if it's American IPA or New England IPA, or even if it's a style thing. I prefer to do it for the ABV in that order. Does that make sense? Anyway, let's get this beer out into a glass and wow. See what we get. I'm not sure if you got wet there. I think there's water all over, and water. I think there's beer all over my lens. Let's have a look. Is it the lens that we're using? It sure is. It's the lens that we're using, so beer went all over that lens. Won't be a sec, guys. There we are. How's that? Right, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. I'm not going to overly look at that bit of an overspill there. The reason being, this beer in 2022 has probably had a difficult time making its way over to the UK. It probably wasn't easy to do in the current circumstances in Ukraine to get Ukrainian beer to UK shores. We'll talk about why and how this happened, how the beer made its way to the UK in a bit. But first of all, I want to concentrate on the beer. So I'm not going to look at kind of maybe slight second fermentation in a can, because it's had to travel through a war zone. Yeah. 3-finger white head. Good levels of slow moving carbonation. It's a hazy looking light amber coloured beer. Let's get the aroma. Oh, it smells really good. I think this is going to be more kind of like New England IPA style, I think. Oh, it's got really like tangerine aroma, like a really soft, juicy tangerine. Smells delicious. You can tell as well that this brewery has conditioned their water. They've treated their water to make it work as an IPA. The softer the water with an IPA, the better quality of the beer. You're going to make them hops sing. Oh, it's really orange, tangerine, touch of grapefruit. It's lovely fragrance to the beer, fantastic aroma. Almost flowery and floral. It smells really good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, it's terrific. Oh, terrific beer. Terrific beer. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. Really juicy and tasty. Oh, fabulous. absolutely fabulous. Now, I showed you the Varvar Citra earlier on in this bottle. That was tasty. That was a really, really good American style IPA stroke pale ale. Lots of Citra coming through, a nice bitterness on the back end. But this shows this brewery know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. This IPA is very different to the American pale ale. It's an awful lot softer. It's promoting them hops. The hops in this beer are just so... It's just giving off a complete juiciness. Oh. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. There's a sweetness to begin with, a little bit of sweetness over here. There is a bitterness, but it's a lower bitterness than the American pale ale. But it's got me bumping my gums. It's like, oh, you know, really good. So drinkable and juicy. That's the biggest takeaway from this beer review, is that if you see this beer, now I picked this beer up in BrewDog. I picked up all of these Varvar beers in BrewDog. So if you're quick, get to BrewDog and pick up a lot of these beers. These Varvar beers from Ukraine are terrific. Whilst I was there, I picked up the last bottle of the Imperial Stout in my local BrewDog in Cardiff. So that was selling quickly. Looks fantastic, doesn't it? Wax top, paper neck. But yeah, honestly, if you can pick up this range of beer, so far, the 2 beers I've had so far have been wonderful. This is terrific beer. Oh, just tangerine and tropical. Carbonation pushes the beer around the inside of the mouth, releases more of that flavour. You know when a brewer, I mean, for a brewer in Ukraine to can craft beer, you know it's got to be good. You know it's got to be good. I go to Poland quite a lot. I go to Wrocław in Poland. And it's funny because a lot of their beer is still, or it was up until that. I haven't been for a couple of years because of that whole situation of 2020. We've had a right couple of years, haven't we, eh? Yeah, a lot of it was bottled beer still. They were just going over to cans. And the reason why they took so long to can was just price. It was just so expensive to can craft beer. But I do believe now that there are a lot of kind of canning lines now in Poland. So it's probably the same thing in Ukraine, is that it's far cheaper to bottle at the moment than to can. But when they have the opportunity to can, they've made sure that the beer is absolutely top quality. And this is just top. Look at the lacing on that glass. Top quality brew. Now, one thing I want to say very quickly, I didn't say it in the last review, I'm going to say it in this review, is that BrewDog, nobody talked about this. Nobody spoke about this whatsoever. The fact that BrewDog bought a lot of stock from Euroboozer, from this brewery, Varvar Brewing Company from Ukraine. Such a good thing to do. Such a positive, good thing to do from BrewDog. Isn't it funny? Lots of people, you know, the bad news stories in life, and you'll find it not just from BrewDog, but any warp of life. Any warp of life. Bad news travels much faster than good news. I tell you that right now. That was one of the fundamental things that were taught to me when I was in business school. I did a little bit of a business course when I was 18 years of age, and human nature dictates that you will spread a bad news story a lot quicker than a good news story. If you go for a meal and the meal is really good, you'll tell one person. If you go for a meal and the meal is terrible, you'll tell 10 people. It's just a natural thing that us humans do. So nobody's really talking about this fantastic story that Varvar Brewing Company, BrewDog bought a load of their beers and put it in their fridges. Nobody's really talking about that. Everybody's still talking about how bad BrewDog are and, you know, this, that and the other. And of course, I don't condone any of what went on, but it's not all bad. That's what I'm saying. It's not all bad news from BrewDog. They're actually doing some good things. And it's about time we start talking about some of the good things that the BrewDog have done. This being one of them. This is terrific. Terrific beer. Absolutely fantastic. TestDrive IPA from Varvar Brewing Company. 330ml can, 5.6% ABV, 25 IBUs. I could drink that all day long. In fact, I'm gonna, because these beers are so, you know, they're very special. I'm gonna put them up in my. I'm gonna put a couple. I'm gonna take away. I'm gonna take away this beer. Absolutely crush that one. And I'm gonna put. That'll be up in my beer cupboard now for, well, probably many years. I really like that. I think it's a terrific example of a Ukrainian craft beer. I give the Citra American Pale Ale a 9 out of 10. This is better. So I'm going to give it a Stone the Crows 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.